A woman once stood beside a well at the edge of a silent village. Every evening, she lowered the same empty bucket into the darkness. Every evening, she heard it strike the dry ground. There was no water, but she kept pulling the rope. Her hands became wounded. Her shoulders became weak. Her palms began to bleed. Still she whispered, "Maybe tonight the well will finally give me what I need." An old woman watched her for 7 days. On the 8th night, she walked toward her and asked, "Why are you still asking an empty well to prove that water exists?" The old woman pointed behind her. Only a few steps away, hidden by darkness, a river was flowing. It had been there the whole time. But the woman was too loyal to the empty well to turn around. My dear sister, perhaps this is the story of your heart. Perhaps you have been standing beside an empty well, pulling, waiting, explaining, forgiving, returning, hoping. You keep lowering your heart into the same darkness, praying that this time you will receive honesty, respect, peace, or love. When the bucket returns empty, you blame yourself. You say, "Maybe I asked for too much. Maybe I was too emotional. Maybe I should have stayed quieter. Maybe I should have been easier to love. Maybe if I become softer, prettier, more patient, less needy, less honest, less alive, they will finally choose me." But listen carefully. The decision that turns a broken woman into an unstoppable one is not the decision to become colder. It is not the decision to stop loving. It is not the decision to punish everyone who hurt her. It is one sacred decision. She decides that she will never again beg a human being to return the worth that Allah never removed from her. That is the turning point. She stops asking empty wells to prove that water exists. She stops treating rejection as a final judgment and pain as her identity. She turns toward the river. Stay until the final lesson, because the last truth is the one many broken women never hear. Your pain did not come to announce the end of you. It may have come to introduce you to the woman you were too afraid to become. Lesson 1. Stop asking people to confirm what Allah has already honored. The first prison of a broken woman is not always the person who hurt her. Sometimes it is the question she keeps asking after they leave. Was I not enough? That question can live in the heart for years. It can follow her into prayer. It can sit beside her at night. It can enter every new friendship. It can make her suspicious of kindness and addicted to approval. She begins to measure herself through the eyes of people who were never qualified to define her. A careless person rejects her, so she rejects herself. A selfish person uses her, so she calls herself foolish. A dishonest person betrays her, so she wonders whether loyalty is a weakness. A distant person withholds love, so she starts believing she must perform to be chosen. But another person's inability to value you is not proof that you have no value. A blind person cannot describe the beauty of the moon that does not reduce the moon. A closed heart cannot recognize sincerity. That does not make sincerity small. Someone may fail to honor you because they are wounded, immature, selfish, distracted, or simply not written for your journey. Their failure is information. It is not revelation. Only Allah knows the full truth of you. He knows the tears you hid so nobody would worry. He knows how often you gave people the kindness you secretly wished someone would give you. He knows the private battles you fought while still showing up for your family. He knows what you survived, what you swallowed, and the person you are becoming. So why are you allowing one human decision to speak louder than the knowledge of Allah? Why are you letting one person's absence erase every sign of mercy in your life? Why are you placing your value in hands that change from day to day? Today they praise you, and tomorrow they disappear. Human approval is unstable ground. You cannot build a peaceful identity on it. The first decision of an unstoppable woman is this: I will not use someone's treatment of me as evidence against myself. Say it in your heart. Their silence is not evidence against me. Their betrayal is not evidence against me. Their inability to commit is not evidence against me. Their comparison is not evidence against me. Their cruelty is not evidence against me. I may have made mistakes. I may need to grow. I may need to repent. I may need to heal. But I will not confuse being imperfect with being worthless. There is a difference. Islam does not teach you to worship your ego, but it also does not ask you to destroy the dignity Allah gave you. Humility is not hating yourself. Patience is not allowing repeated harm. Forgiveness is not giving endless access. Kindness is not becoming easy to use. A woman can be gentle and still have a door. She can be forgiving and still walk away. She can wish someone well and still refuse to return to the place where her soul was slowly disappearing. My sister, you do not become arrogant when you stop begging. You become awake. And when you become awake, the first thing you notice is this: you were never asking for too much. You were often asking the wrong people. Lesson 2, close the door. You keep calling hope. Some doors do not remain open because Allah wants you to enter. Some remain open because you are afraid to close them. This is one of the hardest truths a woman can face. Sometimes the relationship is over, but the waiting continues. The conversation ended, but she keeps answering it in her mind. The person moved on, but she still carries the unfinished story. She checks the phone. She watches for signs. She studies every small action. She turns crumbs into promises. She calls confusion a test. She calls inconsistency potential. She calls emotional absence a difficult personality. She calls repeated disrespect something we can work through. And deep inside, she knows. She knows the door has become a wound, but closing it feels like losing. So she waits, not because waiting is peaceful, because ending the hope feels more painful than continuing the harm. But there comes a moment when hope stops being faith. It becomes self-abandonment. Faith is trusting Allah. Self-abandonment is refusing to accept what Allah is showing you because you are attached to what you imagined. There is a difference between patience and denial. Patience keeps your heart connected to Allah while you face reality. Denial keeps your heart chained to fantasy while reality keeps breaking you. An unstoppable woman is not a woman who never cries at a closed door. She is a woman who finally understands that some doors must be closed with tears. You may still love them, miss them, and remember the beautiful moments. Close it anyway. Not because they are monsters, not because you are perfect, but because the version of you that keeps waiting there cannot breathe. Sometimes your healing does not begin when they apologize. It begins when you stop requiring their apology before you allow yourself to live. Read that again in your soul. You do not need them to understand the damage before you repair it. You do not need them to admit your value before you reclaim it or feel guilty before you choose peace. You do not need one final conversation or a perfect ending. You need truth. And the truth may be this: the door is not locked. Your hand is still on the handle. My sister, release it. There are women who lose years at the edge of a door. Allah was trying to help them leave. They confuse attachment with loyalty. They fear that walking away means they failed. But sometimes walking away is the first act of honesty after months of emotional pretending. You are not betraying your heart by ending what keeps hurting it. You are protecting the part of you that still believes love can be safe. You are protecting your prayer, your sleep, your mind, and your future. And when you close the wrong door, the silence may feel unbearable at first. Do not panic. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is where your soul starts returning. At first, you will miss the noise, the messages, the cycle, even the pain because it was familiar. But familiar pain is still pain. A cage does not become a home simply because you decorated it. Close the door. Then do not stand outside it waiting to be invited back into the same lesson. Lesson 3. Forgive them without giving them your future. Many women remain trapped because they believe there are only two choices. Either hate the person forever or allow them back. But Islam offers a higher road. You can release hatred without restoring access. You can pray for someone without placing your heart in their hands again. You can forgive and still remember the lesson. You can have mercy and still have boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean the wound was small. It means you refuse to let the wound become your master. You You forgive because you need freedom, not because they deserve another chance, not because the past was acceptable, not because trust has magically returned. You forgive so that their name no longer controls your nervous system. You forgive so that one memory does not steal every new morning. You forgive because you are tired of carrying a person who already walked away. But hear this clearly. Forgiveness is not the same as reconciliation. Reconciliation needs truth, responsibility, change, safety, and action. A person who says, "Forgive me," but continues the same behavior is not asking for forgiveness. They are asking for permission. An unstoppable woman learns to watch patterns, not speeches. She no longer becomes drunk on promises. She asks, "What has changed?" Not "What did they say?" Words can arrive in 1 minute. Character is revealed over time. A woman who has been broken often becomes easy to manipulate through guilt. Someone hurts her, then they cry. Suddenly she is comforting the person who wounded her. Someone disrespects her, then they say she is too sensitive. Suddenly she is apologizing for feeling pain. Someone disappears, then they return with a sad story. Suddenly she forgets the nights she begged Allah to help her survive their absence. This is not mercy. This is emotional confusion. Mercy does not require you to become blind. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught mercy, but he also taught wisdom. A believer is not meant to be wounded by the same deception again and again while calling it goodness. Your soft heart is a gift, but a gift must be protected. Do not give sacred access to people who only visit when they are lonely. Do not let someone use your compassion as a key to enter and damage you again. Do not confuse feeling sorry for them with being responsible for them. You are not required to destroy yourself to prove that you are kind. My sister, forgive them in a way that frees your chest. Then place the future in the hands of Allah. Maybe they will change. Maybe they will not. Maybe one day they will understand what they lost. Maybe they never will. That is no longer your prison. Your life cannot remain paused until someone else becomes mature. Your healing cannot depend on their awakening. Your future cannot be held hostage by their potential. Forgive, learn, release. Then walk forward without carrying revenge in one hand and hope for their return in the other. Both hands must become free, because Allah may be trying to place something new inside them. Lesson 4. Stop being loyal to the version of you that learned to survive. There is a version of you who survived by becoming smaller. She learned to stay quiet when something felt wrong. She learned to smile while her heart was collapsing. She learned to accept little because asking for more led to conflict. She learned to read moods before speaking. She learned to apologize quickly. She learned to hide needs. She learned to say it is fine when nothing was fine. Do not hate that woman. She protected you with the tools she had. She helped you survive rooms where honesty did not feel safe. She carried you through seasons you thought would destroy you. Thank her. But do not let her lead your future. Survival habits can become prisons after the danger is gone. You may still over-explain, fear disappointing people, panic at distance, or feel guilty for saying no. You may still believe love must be earned through exhaustion. These are not always signs of weakness. Sometimes they are old alarms. Your body remembers what your mouth tries to forget. Your heart expects the old pain to return. So even in a safe place, you may behave like danger is near. This is where deep healing begins. Not only by leaving the person, but by leaving the version of yourself that was created around the pain. The unstoppable woman makes another decision. I will not keep betraying myself just because self-betrayal once helped me survive. She learns to pause before saying yes. She learns that discomfort is not always danger, and being misunderstood is sometimes the price of honesty. She learns to say, I cannot do that. I do not accept this. I need time. That hurt me. This relationship is not healthy for me. No. A broken woman often believes no will make everyone leave. An unstoppable woman realizes that no reveals who only stayed because she had no boundaries. Let them be revealed. Every person who leaves because you became honest was enjoying the version of you who had no protection. Do not chase them. You are not becoming difficult. You are becoming clear, And clarity frightens people who benefited from your confusion. My sister, your future needs a woman who can hear her own soul. A woman who does not abandon herself at the first sign of rejection or negotiate every boundary. She does not need to be cruel, loud, or hard. She simply becomes rooted. Like a tree, a storm may bend its branches, but the roots remain. Your roots are prayer. Your roots are truth. Your roots are self-respect. Your roots are trust in Allah. Your roots are the knowledge that what is written for you will not require you to erase yourself to receive it. The right love will not demand your disappearance. The right friendship will not punish your honesty. The right home will not make you afraid of your own voice. The right people may not be perfect, but they will not require your brokenness as the price of belonging. Lesson 5, turn the wound into worship before it turns into your identity. Pain is powerful. If you do not give it direction, it will choose one for you. It can turn into anger, comparison, obsession, isolation, self-hatred, or a secret need to prove everyone wrong. Many broken women begin rebuilding for the wrong reason. They want the person who hurt them to regret it. They want to become beautiful so someone feels loss. They want success so the people who ignored them finally clap. They want strength so nobody can ever touch the soft places again. This can produce movement, but it cannot produce peace because you are still building around them. They are still at the center. Even your growth is speaking to their memory. An unstoppable woman does something different. She turns the wound toward Allah. She says, I will not waste this pain. She prays with it. She learns through it. She disciplines herself through it. She lets the nights that once broke her become the nights that build her. She does not ask only, why did this happen to me? She begins asking, what is this teaching me about my heart, my choices, my needs, my faith, and my direction? Pain can expose where you place too much hope in creation. Pain can show you how easily you abandon your own standards. Pain can reveal how hungry you were to be chosen. Pain can uncover the old wound beneath the new wound. Sometimes the person who hurt you did not create all the pain. They touched pain that was already waiting inside you. Maybe you were ignored, had to be useful to receive love, or learned that your feelings were too much. Maybe you watched women stay silent to keep peace. So when harm came, it felt familiar. You called it love because it resembled what you already knew. Healing requires courage, not the courage to blame yourself, the courage to see yourself clearly. You can say they were wrong and also ask, why did I keep returning? You can say I was mistreated and also ask what belief made mistreatment feel normal. You can say I deserved better and also build the strength to choose better next time. This is not shame. This is power. You are not responsible for what someone did to you, but you become responsible for what happens inside you after it. That responsibility is not a burden. It is the door to freedom. Take the pain into prayer. Not only the polished prayer, the honest prayer. Tell Allah you are angry. Tell Him you are confused. Tell Him you still miss what hurt you. Tell Him you are afraid of being alone. Tell Him part of you wants to go back. Tell Him your faith feels weak. Tell Him the night feels long. He already knows. Honesty does not reduce your faith. Honesty opens the heart. Then build small acts of worship and discipline around your healing. Wake up and make your bed. Protect your prayer. Walk outside. Drink water. Read something that brings light. Stop visiting pages that reopen the wound. Stop asking mutual friends for news. Remove the message you keep rereading. Sleep before your mind becomes a courtroom. Eat. Breathe. Ask for help. Speak to a trustworthy person. Seek professional support when the wound is deep. Healing is spiritual, but it is also practical. Allah created means. Use them. Do not wait to feel powerful before you act. Act in small, faithful ways, and power will slowly return. One prayer, one boundary. One honest conversation, one night without checking. One promise kept to yourself. This is how a woman rises. Not always with thunder. Sometimes with tiny decisions nobody sees. Lesson 6. Build a life so full of purpose that the past can no longer be its center. After heartbreak, there is an empty space. Many women rush to fill it with another person. Not because they are ready, because silence feels frightening. But an empty space is not always a problem. Sometimes it is land where a new life can be built. The question is not only who will love me now. The deeper question is, who am I becoming now? You are more than the role you played in someone else's story. You are more than a wife, a daughter, a mother, a friend, or the woman who was left. You are a servant of Allah with gifts, duties, dreams, and a soul that existed before that person entered your life. Return to yourself. What did you stop doing while trying to keep the relationship alive? What part of you became silent? What dream did you delay? What friendship did you neglect? What talent did you hide? What knowledge did you postpone? What health did you ignore? What prayer did you rush? Because your mind was always waiting for a message. Begin there. Do not rebuild to impress. Rebuild for the life Allah still has for you. Learn, create, serve, study and work. Care for your body and strengthen your faith. Spend time with women who remind you of Allah and also remind you to respect yourself. Let your days become too meaningful to spend them studying someone's absence. Purpose does not erase grief, but it gives grief a smaller room. At first, the pain may sit in every chair. Then, slowly, prayer takes one chair. Work takes another. Family takes another. Health takes another. Learning takes another. Service takes another. One day, you look around and realize the pain is still present, but it no longer owns the whole house. That is healing. Do not demand that you forget. Ask that you become larger than the memory. A strong woman does not need a life without scars. She needs a life where scars are not the main story. And as you build, stay private. Not every new step needs an announcement. Not every lesson needs a caption. Not every victory needs to be shown to the people who doubted you. Some growth becomes weak when it is constantly displayed. Let Allah see it first. Let your prayer mat, your journal, the early morning, and your small habits see it. You do not need to send a message through your success. Peace is the message. You do not need to make anyone jealous. Freedom is enough. You do not need them to watch you rise. Rise anyway. The woman who needs the past to witness her future is still tied to the past. Cut the final rope. Build because your life is an amanah. Build because your soul deserves a clean place to live. Build because there are women who will one day need the wisdom your pain taught you. Build because others may one day drink from the strength you are growing now. Allah did not keep you alive only to remain buried beside one broken chapter. Lesson 7. Become the woman who never abandons herself. Here is the final truth. The one decision that turns a broken woman into an unstoppable one is not merely leaving someone, it is refusing to leave herself ever again. Because the deepest betrayal was not always what they did. Sometimes it was what you kept doing to yourself afterward. You ignored your intuition. You defended what disturbed you. You silenced your needs. You returned after every clear sign. You accepted apologies without change. You called anxiety love. You called survival patience. You called self-erasure sacrifice. You kept choosing the relationship while losing the woman inside it. But that woman is not dead. She's waiting. Not for him, not for them, for you. She is waiting for you to return. Return to her with mercy. Do not say, how could I be so foolish? Say, I was trying to be loved with the understanding I had. Do not say, I wasted my life. Say, Allah can still use every year to teach me what one easy season never could. Do not say, I am damaged. Say, I am healing. And healing is not shameful. Do not say, nobody will want me now. Say, what is written for me will meet the woman I am becoming. Do not say, I will never trust again. Say, I will trust slowly, wisely, and with Allah at the center. This is the unstoppable woman. She is not unstoppable because nobody can hurt her. People may still disappoint her, and life may still test her. She may still cry, remember, and miss someone she knows she should not return to. But she is unstoppable because pain no longer decides her direction. She feels it. She brings it to Allah. She learns. Then she continues. She does not build walls around her heart. She builds gates. Walls allow nobody in. Gates require the right key. The key is